And this is going to piss you off. And it should. It pisses me off. Hell, I've been sucked down into it. It's the biggest scam in business. Now, it's not the gurus themselves. The gurus are telling you this. It's not the books you read. It's not the software you buy. The biggest scam is the fact that people are telling you to scale. Scale, scale, scale. Which means sell, sell, sell. That's what I used to call it when I was a sales manager. Go out and sell, sell, sell. And that was my job back then, to make sales happen. But growth does not automatically equal success. It just doesn't. So why is that scam so powerful? Well, hell, it sounds good. It looks good. More cash in your pocket. It feels safe. I've got sucked down that path before. Been told to scale. And I remember one time I was put in charge of sales. I was actually a sales manager. And it wasn't me, it was my team. I had a very strong team. Now, maybe I assembled that team, but that's the point being is that my team was going out and selling this shit out of stuff. I'm going to tell you what, we were going gangbusters. Unfortunately, production could not handle that much sales. And we're not going to get into why or who. The point being was that the more sales we got, the less money we were losing money. It wasn't even less money. Well, I won't get into that. We were losing money on paper, I'll put it that way, because we didn't die as a company. But all that depreciation and stuff, thank the Lord for, because that was the only thing we were living on, is that cash. Cash is king, don't get me wrong. Good stuff. I'm telling you what, when it goes out faster than it's coming in, it ain't worth a damn. It ain't going to solve anything. Matter of fact, I've told the story, but the point was that the accounting department, a third-party accounting department, we'd come in and have audits. They told my old boss, you got to quit selling. They come to me in my department, which is frustrating as hell because your guys that's their livelihood. They were getting sales commissions. And I got to tell them stop selling because we can't produce it. Oh, no, by the way, I don't know how we're going to pay you because that's the way it's set up. No, that's BS. And you wouldn't like it. I didn't like it. Especially I didn't like it because I was their leader. So does growing mean success? No. And we're going to talk about what does mean success. Let's talk a little more about this, how the scam works. Here's what can happen. Your sales rises, your stress increases, your hours increase, whether it be yours or your team's. Hell, your payroll definitely increases, whether it be more people or overtime. Overtime's a great thing. And thank our president today, they got the overtime tax thing going on. But the overtime, not only expensive to the company, was costing those guys more money because they're taking more taxes out, but it's all stress, and fires popped up. Shit, you're busier, more stuff happens all the time. Your phone never shut off. My gosh. And while your company grew, your time and profits shrank. Irritating as hell. Think about that. You think you're doing well. It looks good, but it doesn't. It all looks good till it don't. That's one of my guys. It works till it don't, right? That's one of my guys, one of my friends tells me. All because you were told the only way to the next level, if you could just make it to that next sales level, things will calm down. It'll make a difference. Oh, it can, but if you don't do it in the right way, it don't. So why do contractors and business owners like ourselves, we're so especially vulnerable to this scam? We're builders. We're problem solvers. That's somebody used to ask me what I did. Well, I'm a professional problem solver. We think that building bigger makes sense. And when you look back on it in the big picture, it kind of does. But what we think fixing growth problems will fix other growth problems, and it doesn't. We solve problems with more growth almost to a point where it's too late, just like back then when we were gangbusters in sales. And if we didn't have somebody come in and tell us to quit selling, I just kept going on. Was it the right decision for the company? Yes. And it made me mad because, I was in charge of the sales department. But I realized what benefit to the company was that if we didn't, nobody'd have a job over time. And we took a little hiatus and we worked it all out. And matter of fact, we come back stronger. And we went from 12 million up to 22 million at some point. But that's another day for another story. But our industry especially in the contracting industry, it rewards growth. Why? Because people see it. You're buying more trucks. You've got more guys. You got more tools. Hell, I bought another trailer. I got 2 trailers with my name on it. Woohoo! It's good. How to make you feel good. Now, I don't want you going to buy a trailer just for the name. I want you to buy a trailer because you need it and work in it. But the point being is people see that stuff. They don't see your profit margins because that's personal. They don't see if your systems are working very good. They see if people run around. They see you on the phone. They don't know you're on the phone dealing with some BS that happened because you didn't have a good system in place. Somebody's looking for a damn hammer or the nails to put the lumber on, or where is that lumber? Nobody gets excited because they don't see it. Now, we're not here to satisfy others, don't get me wrong. But it's nice to be talked about. Don't get me wrong. I like to be talked about. I was thinking about, I'm taking this class, online class on stocks and trading stocks. I was thinking about, one of the things they teach you stock price rises when everybody sees the profit. It does better. All right. Well, that's a public company, meaning that anybody can see how that company's doing. But they don't see your stuff because you're a private company. Nobody cares about your business. They might care about talking about you. Look what Chris is doing, or look what so-and-so's doing. Is that you built? Who's building that house over there? I get that all the time. You building those houses? No, my houses are. But the point is, I get those questions all the time. People like to know, and it feels good to tell them. How many houses you built last year? And I said, X amount. I was like, okay, that's awesome. They didn't ever ask me how much money you make. I can build a dozen houses, but if I ain't making money, then it ain't worth a damn because Chris ain't building that many houses this year because he can't afford to. It feels good when people ask you those things. It's an emotional trap. We as humans, we chase what's visible. It's just human nature. You ever heard of the squirrel? People turn their head because a dog turns, and he sees a squirrel and he focuses on the squirrel. That's what we normally do. Mention more trucks, more whatever. What's more visible, and the people kind of focus on that. So I was thinking about this. What if somebody can't see my profits? How do you make yourself feel good? Well, when I was growing up, there's the old Grapevine. Now I'm in a town, and back then it was probably 700 people when I was like 30, 40 years ago. And they had this group of ladies, and there's men too. I won't talk about them, but there's a group of ladies, and you always knew that if you want to know something, you go ask them. I remember we had to go uptown and get the newspaper because newspapers weren't delivered. Because if you're out in the rural area, you had to go to town and get your newspaper. And you go and get your newspaper and get some gossip going on. Was it gospel? Yeah, gossip can be considered negative, but if you use it, it can be a good thing too. I want to talk about that now. While the ladies might be on the phone, somebody works and they talk about gossip. The old man, the damn grain elevator. They meet at grain elevator, drink their coffee, and talk about so and so and how the crops are or who's doing what. Well, let's give them some good information to talk about. You have employees. You better have employees. I want you to have a team. Share with your team how you're doing. You don't have to get down to details, but give them some information. Because what's going to happen? They're going to start talking. And you know what? It can be almost a damn marketing ploy. Because if people think you're doing well, they're going to think about you and share it with others. The point being is, there's ways to get out there and be shown, make you feel good. If it pumping your chest is what you like to do, but sure the hell don't have to be for sales for the sake of sales. And you sure don't want to focus on sales when your profits ain't there. I talk a lot about profit sharing sometimes. Share with your people monthly how you're doing as a company, how it's affecting them. Because just as much as it is for you to feel good, it's just important to your team for them to feel good. They're going to tell their families. They're going to tell everybody. I always talk about the grapevine. Go to the roots. Start planting it. Let that seed go, and you're amazing how many people will find out if that's what you like to do. So what does success look like? Well, feels predictable, feels intentional. I know what it doesn't feel like. It's adrenaline. You want adrenaline? Go get you some Viagra. I get those commercials all the time. I guess it's because of my age. I hope it's not because of my performance. But that being said, those ads come up all the time. And I'm not going down that little rabbit hole. But the point being is, what does it feel like? Success feels like maturity. It's a sense of calm and peace. It makes me feel like sometimes it's God's intervention. I've said before, God didn't bring me this far to let me fail. And That makes me feel good. Hope it makes my other people feel good. Hope it makes the family feel good. And I hope it makes my team feel good, because everybody feels good and you're sharing those profits or whatever it is that you want to reward your people for. They're all going to participate to make it better. What are some questions that you need to ask yourself to not make you be so pissy about the scam? Questions: how do I scale? Well, that's not really the question you want to ask. You want to ask, how do I make more profits? Now, scaling could be the answer to more profits, but it's not. It's only after you solve the profit problem. I want you to scale. It's very important. And not all those coaches that told me to scale were wrong, but you don't scale until you make the profit. Figure that problem out first. And then if you're figuring out how to make the profit, then you increase your sales. You scale your business to multiply that profit out. Ask yourself, how can I become a stronger business? How can I be more efficient? If you got the Disney Channel and there's Marvel, there's a what if. And that show talks about what if Captain America was a lady? Or what if Spider-Man was a kid? You've seen that one. Well, I think there's one about what the Hulk would do if he was scared. It's a lot of different. What happens if? Well, what if what I used to do, and I love income statements, and if it don't, that's fine. If that's not you, but I used to get an income statement, and I look at them, and I want to make more profit. So what if I did this? What if this happens? You know what? If you can take that scaling problem, and you go to that what if statement, your income statement, and play the what if game. If I increase this sales, what happens to the bottom line? Some things have to change, and those things don't change, and you're not making a profit. Figure out what you need to change in your what if statement. Figure all that out. Now I'll give you a closer idea for business-wise where to go forward and make that happen. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that sales isn't your enemy. It is a requirement. It's necessary evil. Clients are a necessary evil. If you didn't have clients, everything would be easy, but you wouldn't make no money. Growing too fast or growing for the sake of growth is a disaster. And it shouldn't make you mad that if that's all you're focusing on, and that's what you're being told to focus on, and it don't work, it won't work. If you're growing, if you're not making money now, more sales ain't gonna make a difference. Hell, if you ain't making money now, then go find a job. I don't want you to do that. I want you to reach out and talk to people like myself or whoever. Figure out how, if you need help, find help, but make money. The biggest scam in the business, that size equals strength. Quite honestly, fair profits accompanied by value equals strength. I want you to make profits. I don't want you screwing somebody. Because what happens is if you make too much profits on one customer and you don't have the value to back it up, you're going to get a bad reputation. And while it's good for a little bit, it's not sustainable. What I want you to do now is I want you to start building better. That's all you got to do. Just start. If you like what you heard today, I think it's important for other people to hear, please like and subscribe to the old YouTube channel and hit that notification button. That's all good for the algorithms that it shares with other people. This is Chris G. God be with you till we meet again. And so long. Bye-bye.